Hey, we're back.
Welcome back.
We're back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Doing testing 1 2 bingo bongo. The other
Right.
radio DJs like just when they go 1 2 1 2. Actually, you know all about it. What I'm talking to the king.
No, I'm not the king. No, I'm no radio jockey.
Uh, oh, not
Um,
not yet, not yet. Anyway,
no, I'm more playing music and getting my forge up and running. So,
can't wait till you get it open. We'll
oh
see
man,
it.
I
Yeah,
can't wait to hit metal again. I can tell you, Jesus, man.
very good.
So, got so many ideas up here that want to come
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to know what goes on in here.
No, look.
Oh, this mind is a dodgy place.
Oh, don't even go there.
Yeah. Oh, but
But
yeah,
I guess coming back to the whole, I guess the end diagnosis there, Dan.
yeah.
When me and the missus, my ex missus was going through a bit of trouble. It was really spiraling out of control, and averted back to my old self harming again. And I did. Oh, Jesus, man, I got myself a beauty this time, and I ended up back in hospital with a very, very bad self-inflicted wound that went right across my hand. Um, I ended up, oh Jesus, nearly losing the ability to use my hand.
So you obviously hit a nerve then, like
Oh
very
no,
literally.
oh man, I hit three fucking tendons, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, nasty.
Yeah. And they went, right, well, we need to get you some psychiatric help. And so I went. That was at St James. That was here in Ireland. So
Yeah,
they put me on a program at Clonsky,
okay.
and they did an assessment on me, and then found that I was more borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, we were talking about that when I
I
was
was,
asking you to do the interview,
yeah,
the emotionally
exactly,
unstable personality disorder, they call it now. But
yeah.
I got a recent diagnosis. I have to go back for an assessment. But did that resonate with you, do you think, when you were told that?
I think so. Yeah, it
Mm,
probably resonated with me more because I don't really I didn't really show any um schizophrenic symptoms, really.
yeah, because there'd be obvious psychosis and like hallucinations and delusions. Did you ever get any of them? Like hearing
Um,
voices or
I did, but they'd gone. They'd long gone.
yeah, that can be
You know.
drug induced as well, like a drug induced psychosis.
Yeah, exactly. And like I did do quite a bit of drugs when I was in when teenage, early adulthood, that kind of stuff. Those years,
Yeah,
but it wasn't really. Um, it didn't really linger on throughout the years. It was more like, let's just rip the shit out of myself.
yeah, yeah. Well, that was the one thing that kind of stands out about borderline personality disorder is the self harm. There's an awful lot of self
Exactly.
harm with it, and a lot of yeah, I think it's the highest rate of suicide of any mental illness. Like
It
it's
is. Yeah.
huge, you know. It's a
Yeah.
very difficult one to live with for sure.
It is. Yeah.
And the feelings like because I was going through the symptoms, I'm the type that researches the shit out of everything. You
Yeah.
can tell that I'm into science. That's kind of how my mind works. But
Yeah.
I just was there thinking, does any of this resonate with me? Like, I guess
Yeah.
the negative side effects would be the side effects. The symptoms would be anger, which I had a lot of when I was
Yeah.
younger, which was quite outward.
Yeah.
And then when I was shamed, it got very internalized.
Yeah.
And then like I would have I didn't cut myself, but I used to tie things around me really tight, or I had a resistance band. I used to hit myself with that, or
Yeah.
um suicidal ideation was huge with me. And then obviously I had an attempt and
Yeah.
several other times I called it practice. You know, if it ever got too much, I knew how I was going to do it. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
way. I know it sounds
Yeah.
a bit weird, but I thought if it
Mm,
gets too much, I'm just going to do this. You know, I want it over with quick.
yeah.
And when I just said like I feel very empty, like nothing really fulfills me. There's like chronic feelings of emptiness. It's very difficult. You know, you're
Yeah.
very. Did you ever find you were easily suggestible? Like if someone suggested something to you, you were quite.
Open to it.
vulnerable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm quite
Oh,
like that.
yeah. Oh, 100%, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, not so much these days. Not
yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Not well. Not so much now.
With age
Not so
comes
much now.
wisdom.
Yeah. I find I'm a lot more switched on now.
But
Like even in the earlier days we're here, I was, it was pretty because this being in a new country and meeting new people and friends and stuff. It's not out there to try to impress, but it's more, like this is exciting. Yeah, let's fucking try it. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
yeah, yeah, it's like being on holiday, isn't it? You do shit that you'd never do back home.
Yeah, exactly. It's
It's
not like I'm
mental.
doing it because my parents aren't here and they're not watching me.
Mommy and daddy aren't here to give out to me.
No, that's it. I had to, you
Yeah,
know, whenever, like especially this situation with my hand, I had to, sort of go through it on my own and like yeah, Mrs. was my ex was pretty supportive in that manner to a point, but it was a fact that well, you did it yourself. You got to fucking live with it. That was the attitude that she
yeah,
took. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if that's what you think, that's fine. But I'll just keep carrying on with what I need to do to get out of my fucking current situation
yeah,
mentally.
yeah,
But then, going through therapy and going having to, what would you say? Not therapy, but rehabilitation on my hand. It was
mm,
once again music that got me out of it again, you know. Um, and it was also during COVID as well, so that was the best time to sort of knuckle in and like play the guitar. So playing of the guitar helped strengthen my fingers even more. But to this day, I still have major problems with it. It you
yeah,
know fucking hurts during winter, and it's always I if I go down a certain road mentally, I will say well that hurt. Well, you did it. It's a constant reminder,
yeah, yeah,
of
of
not to do it.
course.
So um, just you're gonna have to live with that one. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as like when I throw myself out in front of a car, I go, shit, I am lucky. You know what I mean? I kind of go, I'm
Yeah,
blessed. Like I didn't have any injuries after it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then I kind of say to myself, but because there's no lasting injuries, was it even a suicide attempt? And everybody's
yeah,
like, yes, it fucking was. Like, what normal
yeah.
person does that? Person
100%.
in upsound mind. And I was like, shit, yeah, you're right. I was like, by the
Yeah,
grace of God, and I do believe in a higher power, like because of an incident like that. I know,
yeah,
as you say, like it is self-inflicted, but you're kind of like, I was so sick at the time,
yeah,
and something intervened. You
yeah,
know, it
yeah,
was it was amazing. But what I want to kind of ask you was,
yeah.
what were the symptoms do you think of borderline that stand out for you the most? What would you notice like when they went through the list with you?
It was not really being accountable for your behavior,
Right, right,
and it's also trying to, I guess, spin the story.
yeah,
You know, trying
yeah.
to make
So,
trying to make an alternate um, excuse for your behavior.
right, gotcha. Yeah, so like excusing bad behavior, but kind of I don't know, like if I call it a compulsion to lying. That kind of seems like more of
Yeah,
a, a narcissistic sort of thing to do, like where they'll tell you
it
you're
sounds
wrong all
narcissistic,
the time.
but it's a symptom.
Similar,
It,
but
it is a
yeah,
symptom. It's like, well, what did you do that for? It's like, well, fuck, like, you know, I was thinking this at the time, and you were
yeah,
saying, and it's like, no, I wasn't saying that at all. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And like you start spinning start believing your own fucking lies,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the truth isn't the reality at all. So that one was the big one for me. You know,
yeah.
I
But
wasn't
that's yeah,
I wasn't owning the situation. I wasn't holding myself accountable. I was always trying to find an excuse
mm,
for everything.
yeah. Well, I think though, I haven't done my own research into psychology, and it's just a hobby of mine as well. But I find the symptoms, while they say like it's a cluster B personality disorder, like there's four different types, but
Yeah,
um, I guess there's different reasons. Now it can look similar, but with someone who's like quite narcissistic, they're trying to put you down all the time. And they're
yeah,
saying, I'm great, you're shit. Whereas with me, I kind of looked at my own behavior, like you were saying, thinking, look, I could see how that looked quite manipulative to people. But at the same time, it was like, it feels so terrible when people leave me, that fear of abandonment symptom,
yeah,
which is huge. And for
yeah,
me, like that was big. Like I remember the first girl I ever really had a crush on. And looking back now, it's insane to
mm,
think of it. But that's when I think of this incident, I think to myself, that was fear of abandonment 100%, but also
yeah.
the intense emotions because I thought I actually told her I loved her and I meant it. Like the thing is at the
Sorry,
time,
sorry.
yeah, it's,
Oh,
what,
oh,
you all right, man?
yeah, man. Just
No
dying.
worries. It'll be that vape.
I might just quickly grab a drink if
Yeah,
that's all
yeah,
right.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll pause it. Now, just
All
getting
right.
a drink for our parched throats. We're doing so much talking.
Getting
Um,
dry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that was one that really stood out for me was that the strong emotions, like being autistic as well as obviously having the borderline traits. Like dating was very hard for me growing up,
Yeah.
and I was very slow to mature. Like a lot of people had been on dates, had girlfriends, and I was really new to it. And
Yeah.
then this girl that I really fancied, she was nice to me. I was attracted to her. Everything seemed like a match made in heaven. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember people thought I was insane. I was like, I'm going to marry this girl. I love her, and I genuinely believed that at the time. I was about
Yeah.
17 or 18, but I was like, why can't you see it as well? You get that kind
Yeah.
of looking at it now and having done a lot of therapy, like I did dialectical behavioral therapy, which is meant to be really good for people who have very strong emotions like me.
Yeah.
Um, getting you to see two different two different ways of looking at the same thing, essentially, but kind of going, all right, what was actually going on in that, where your emotions getting the better of you and were you reading into it wrong? And I was like, yeah, maybe I was. Maybe she kind of liked the attention a little bit as well. But then
Well,
what
yeah.
didn't account for the intense psycho like me I was coming for.
Yeah.
But I remember just feeling angry as well, thinking like you took advantage of me at the same time, which I definitely feel did happen, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. See, with my ex-wife, it was kind of hard because I kind of felt that I'd rushed into that
Yeah,
head on, and well, we kind of both did, but at the same time, when things did get out of control, it was she didn't really help the situation either.
yeah, yeah.
Without going too deep, it was her problems affected my mental state,
Gotcha, yeah.
and being forced to make decisions that would impact other people around me was kind of hard as well,
Mm.
especially when it came to family. And there was a situation where it was I cut my family off because of what the ultimatum she put forward, and
All right.
I chose her over my family, which was a very, very wrong thing to do. And I realized that after a year and a half of not speaking to my family, but my parents always knew that there was some underlying thing going on, and once I broke out of that cycle and started speaking to my family again, and it all came out, and I told them the reasons why, and they were just like, "Oh God, yeah, look, it's you got to got to leave this woman, like this is not good. It's not healthy."
Yeah, that's damaging
So
you as well.
yeah, and that was my, I guess, naivety
Mm.
of not being able to make the right decision.
Gotcha, yeah. And I wonder just with the
Mm.
diagnosis of BPD, do you find it kind of hard to leave people or to break up relationships, even friendships? I find that tough.
Yeah, look, usually when a friend would leave, I took it very hard, very
Yeah,
personal.
same here.
And even if it was my fault, I would still take it very hard,
Mm,
um, because people with our condition, we find it hard to maintain relationships and
yeah,
friendships,
yeah,
but we kind of latch on to the ones that we really want to keep. And it's like, don't go, no, no, come back, come back. No, no, no,
yeah,
I didn't do it.
yeah.
No, 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 I didn't mean it. Fucking come back.
Well, that's it. Yeah, but I mean,
Or like, what did I do wrong?
there's
What,
a lot
what,
of
what the
stigma,
fuck?
though, isn't there? There's a lot of
Yeah,
stigma. Like
yeah,
when I was looking at it, I thought to myself, and I'd met people before. It's mostly diagnosed in women, but you kind of think to yourself, the crazy ex-girlfriend. That's kind of what comes to mind. Promise you're
yeah,
not going to cheat on me, or I'll cut up all your clothes, or I'll burn all your stuff. That kind of way. And I was like, oh, they're fucking psychos and all that. And then
yeah,
kind of hearing you have like I had it myself. I was there thinking, what the fuck? What does this even mean? But when you look
yeah.
into it, like, and I have a friend now that I met from another therapy I did, compassion focused therapy, where I'm just
Mhm.
signing up for these therapies to give myself something to do for the day. But she's borderline, and she's actually very understanding of people's needs, and
Yeah,
kind of sometimes I would say vulnerable to getting abused. Not abuse of herself, but more vulnerable to getting abused because she's very trusting and will
yeah,
latch on to people very easily.
yeah,
You kind of go to yourself, oh right, yeah, 'cause you think to yourself, oh, people with borderline are manipulators and they're all bad people. But in
yeah,
actual fact, a lot of them are manipulated and abused themselves very
yeah.
often. Like rarely do you meet someone who has it that hasn't been either bullied or abused in their family or whatever,
Oh,
A lot of
100%.
trauma there, like
100%. But as that relationship broke down and I ended up living on my own and or in a share house, a different share house,
mm,
and having to, spend a lot of time reflecting. It was then sort of like suddenly realizing that, I've got some good people around me. I
yeah,
got my band, I got um, some work colleagues, like Ben himself.
yeah.
Ben moved off to Canada for,
All right,
yeah, but he's back now, which is great. You know,
yeah,
um, that support from Ben had gone, but I did have the fellas from the band. Like there were a couple of key ones there that kind of helped out, which was really good. Um, and then when I met Brenda, that was the best thing that ever happened. She was very supportive, and she was always there. We just clicked straight away.
cool.
And you know,
Nice. No, that's really good, and I said it before, but I'm genuinely delighted for you, man, because you're a good guy, and I loved working with you. I can't like the thing is like I knew there was something going on with you, like you told me, and like your
yeah,
mental state could sometimes be fragile. So I had nothing but empathy for you.
yeah,
Like I remember one day you said you were sick, and I knew you meant mentally like you were having a really bad day, and I was like, look, that's fair enough. Don't no need to explain, man. Understandable. And that was actually the day we got the delivery. And I remember having to call Rebecca in. And I was like, I don't
yeah.
want to get him in trouble. I don't want to get him in trouble. Just
No,
deal
no,
with it. You'll be fine. But
yeah,
that's why I don't buy the shit that when someone's having a bad day and they take it out on other people.
yeah.
Like the shit that you were going through, and you never took it out on me once. No
No,
matter
no.
how
And why
bad your
should I?
day was getting, you know?
It's my shit. It's my shit that I have to
Yeah,
deal with. Why should I make
100%.
anyone else's problem? It's
Yeah.
my, and I've always been like that as well.
And it's a great thing to have. Like it's a really good quality of yours, I would say.
Well, thanks, bud. And
Yeah.
you're just as strong as you think. You're stronger than what you think you are, actually. You know,
I think we all need to hear that, don't we? Because we don't believe it. Like we don't look at the good stuff we've done. We always look on the negative. But when we
a
look
hundred,
back, both of us have come far. So like, give ourselves a
yeah,
little pat on the back.
100%,
You
bro.
know?
Like we're the, very easy to work with. You didn't
Yes.
complain at all. Like I said, I just wanted them to have like a really good environment to work in, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you were fantastic to work with.
You too, man. You too. The
Yeah.
best managers I've ever had.
Ah, come
And I
on.
mean that, I mean that, if not the best.
Ah, come on, man.
But it's just an interesting
That's not
point.
that's nice to hear, though. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, no worries at all. But yeah, sorry, I remember we were talking about it earlier. It
Mm.
was down to the whole area of, like confrontation. That's something I talk about kind of on the
Yes.
channel. Um, like when one thing that really pisses me off is when you meet a group of guys who want to look like the tough guy.
Yeah.
If someone does this to me, I do this, and you're kind of there going, yeah. When you have a group of 8 of your mates, you think
Yeah.
you're a tough guy, and you're kind of
Yeah.
getting down about yourself, thinking, oh, but if someone confronts me, I'm a little more apprehensive, and I would be like, I'd assess the situation a lot more. And it
Yeah.
kind of the advice I gave to people was, have you got friends with you, like female friends? Did they all were they all safe? Like, were they okay
Yeah.
afterwards? Because there's a lot
Yeah.
of dodgy fuckers out there, who'll take
Oh, God,
advantage of vulnerable people. And then guys are always going afterwards, oh, you're a big guy, you should have started just throwing haymakers or whatever. And I think to myself, would you have had my back if I did? And you're
yeah.
kind of just um I guess freezing and assessing the situation has served me very well rather than going in throwing fists because someone could
Yeah.
stab you. You never know. I'm just wondering how you deal with that, because the emotions are going really intense.
Oh, look, whenever I always freeze in a fight.
Yeah, yeah,
I fucking I know how to defend myself, but at the same time, I don't want to have to.
yeah, yeah,
So if there's someone shouting in my face, even customers that would, shout in my face, I'd just
yeah.
stand there. I would just stand there and take it and go, right, oh well, no skin off
Yeah,
my no skin off my nose. But
exactly. Yeah.
you can shout at me as much as you like. I'm switched off.
Kind of dissociated.
Yeah, I just kind of turn off from reality and just But when it gets aggressive, like if fists
Yeah,
start flying, then yeah, I'm an absolute mess. You know, I I've never really been in kind of like a raw, like I wouldn't say street fight, but just being in a fist fight with a random stranger or anything like that. All
yeah,
my all my fighting was done at school. You know.
yeah. Well, it's a common place for it to happen, isn't it?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of it would
Like
have happened there.
the last fight I was in, I got the shit kicked out of me. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'd realised at that point that it was a point of no return where I thought, yeah, look, this I'm not going to win. So I just stood there and fucking took it.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I guess like that, a rule I always have in myself is you can put up with the verbal stuff because I got a lot of
yeah,
stuff said to me, and me and my
mm,
brother were kind of like on our own. My dad kind of said to me, "You're big enough and bold enough to deal with it yourself," and I was there saying, "Yeah, but I'm like 12 and there's an 18-year-old lad threatening to kick my head
yeah,
in, that sort of thing." But I got
yeah,
really good. I got really good at knowing how to deal with it and being like, save your energy, conserve your energy if he goes to throw a punch because then you'll be ready. Don't start the thing though because you may very well lose this. But kind
yeah,
of stand your ground that kind of way. It's
yeah,
just advice I give to people because there's a lot of young men I think that have a real negative self-image. They're kind of like, oh, I look like a bit of a pussy or a bit of a bitch there or
yeah,
whatever. And it's like, yeah, but if you go and you throw a few haymakers and there's
yeah.
about 5 other lads, they won't hesitate to kick your head in.
Oh,
The,
exactly.
the, the
They're
days
waiting.
the
They're
days
waiting
of
for the
fair fighting are gone, aren't they? Like,
Oh, absolutely. Like
really,
even in that fight, like it was, you know, um, he kind of did the dog punch, like he turned as if he was to walk away, and then he just turned back and just fucking knocked me out, and I went flying. Like he got me in the jaw, so of course I went down.
yeah,
He was just like, kicking me while I was down, punching me, but I was getting up every time. I'm just like, yeah, cool, bang, oh fuck, back down again. And it's just like, look, we could be doing this all afternoon, man. I don't really give a fuck. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I didn't throw a punch back. I was just like, yep, I made the mistake. It's my, I guess, in a way, you could say that was in self harm because I was punishing myself. I don't know, but I don't know what was going on in my head at the time because it was so long ago.
Hmm.
But I just stood there and took it. I just went, fuck it. I'd fucked up. I have to take suffer the consequences.
Yeah, and I guess as well, being so low, you kind of don't care, do you? Your body is not important to you.
And I knew also that if I had landed a good punch in and knocked him, then six other blokes were there ready to jump me.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, fuck this. This is bullshit. Whatever. That was my
That's
response. Because he going, all right, so we still want to fucking do this, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's it. Like so many guys, like as I was saying with the smaller lads, they'd start squaring up to me, and then I'd just go
mm,
fuck off, get away from me, getting like don't
yeah,
be coming up in my face, and then
mm,
they'd say, oh, I want to fight you, and I was like, yeah, all right, because I was nervous, like I will safely say, like I was nervous before everyone, even if I
yeah,
knew I'd win, because I was very apprehensive, and then I found out there were guys waiting to kick my head in. And then a couple of lads heard this and they were like, no, you challenged him. And they came up with me and were like, if any of you hop in, we'll hop in for Dan. And guess what? The guy didn't want to do it. He started
yeah,
walking away. And then his mom came up to me and was like, why are you picking on my son? I said,
yeah.
you know what your little darling boy's getting up to? he's been threatening me all week, it's just so messy nowadays. And like that
Yeah.
fella kicking you on the ground, it's a real scummy thing to do. I hate
Oh,
that
look,
shit.
yeah, look,
At least
it's
let you
something.
get back up and defend yourself, you know.
Yeah, I think about after the third or fourth time he'd knocked me down. One because this was in front of like our whole school year.
Yeah, yeah,
Finally, after the fourth time, one of the other lads just went, right. He's had enough. Just fucking leave him alone now.
yeah, yeah,
It was like, okay, cool. I was like, oh fuck, we're finished. Cool. All right. I'll
yeah,
up again, and yeah, I guess I'll go off to rehearsals because I was doing a musical at the time.
yeah. Get the triangle out and just start fucking with
I
it.
was one of the lead roles, man.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so interesting now that you said that. Like, I'm glad you did because my brother said that before to me. And I was kind of like, is it? But like playing rugby, he said it was a form of self harm for him. And you're
yeah,
you're kind of like, well, kind of because you're always
yeah. Well, it
getting
kind of
black
was.
eyes and cuts and all,
Yeah,
and guys stamping on you and whatever. But I
yeah,
think it was also a good thing because it was like the release for that negative energy, like you say with your music. I find a lot
yeah,
of musicians are they've got quite low self-esteem, but they're very creative people. They tend to be overthinkers, but that works out
yeah,
in their favor because they can put that down on a piece of paper and create
yeah.
really good lyrics. You know,
Well, not just music, but art as well. It comes out in
but
art.
yeah,
It
yeah,
comes out in literature. It comes out in sculpture. Any form of art, really. If you can just tap into something creative and use that as an outlet, like it's amazing what can come out of it.
100%. Like I only started doing that. I went for like an acting workshop. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was really interesting. Like they were using a lot of terms I didn't understand, and I was like, "Look, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's for me. I might go back as like background staff or something, because I'm not ready to fucking play Romeo." Yeah,
No, no.
but it is good to unlock that. I found that
Yeah,
coaching as well, like rugby coaching, was really good because
yeah,
I think you'll understand better than most. Like medication can make it very hard for you to sometimes even get out of the house. It can be
oh
very
god, yeah,
sedating,
yeah,
especially like antidepressants or antipsychotics.
yeah.
Oh, it can be so
Especially the
difficult.
ones that make you drowsy. Like
Yeah,
it's fucking hard. But I would usually take my medication at night so it would knock me
same.
out of sleep. Because if I didn't take
Yeah,
my medication, I could go without sleep for fucking days if I wanted to.
yeah,
But it would be nothing to stay up all night and play a computer game or mess around on the guitar and write a few songs or whatever. But and then just and that way somehow try and drain yourself of energy so that you can go to sleep. But I would take mine probably about an hour before I go to bed and just
yeah.
you know. But the only shit thing was the drowsiness in the morning. It was fucking really hard to get out.
I was
Really hard
gonna
to.
say I find mornings really difficult, like with pills.
Yeah,
Um, it's just that grogginess, like you say, the real low energy. Especially like when I was trying to go to the gym before college, first thing in
yeah,
the morning. I was there, and everybody kept saying, "Oh, it'll get easier," and I was like, "It's not getting easier. If anything, it's getting harder."
yeah,
Because you're wearing yourself down. I don't think people who haven't taken, so, like how do you say, psychoactive medication or antidepressants like
Yeah.
SSRIs, but they don't understand it. And
Antipsychotics, yeah.
antipsychotics are the worst for
Um,
sure.
um, well, I ended up weaning myself off.
Which one were
I,
you on?
I actually no, I didn't wean off. I just fucking stopped taking it down. I
Mm,
don't, but when things were getting bad in the first marriage, it was gee, I was not forced, but I was given the decision to go back on them, and I did take it, but
yeah.
it wasn't for very long. I was only on it for a couple of months.
Do you know
So
which one? Which medication?
uh, Seroquel,
Seroquel, yeah, I've heard of that one.
yeah,
My brother was on olanzapine, and he's just after coming off it now, and he said it
yeah,
knocked him for six, and he was
yeah,
only on like 2.5 milligrams. The weight
yeah,
gain was horrific, and the energy, like he
yeah,
said, he felt like shit, and now coming off it, he feels dreadful as well. But he
yeah,
knows he needs to do it.
yeah. So yeah, I went back on it again, and I just went, oh, fuck this shit. I don't want to take this shit again. So I just got
Yeah,
myself off it, refused to go to my doctors, and you know, and just battled on my own and I just got myself out of it again. I just went back to what I was taught, in the Blue Mountains, just going through all of my mindfulness techniques again, and that put me in a good spot, and in a much more mature spot too as well, because going back through that from a different angle to keeping yourself on track as to using it as a therapy of getting yourself out of a suicidal tendency was
yeah,
different. So, it got me in a much stronger position, and that's you know how I can keep and maintain a new relationship like with Brenda at the moment. So it's been really good, and very
nice.
positive. It's been very
That's very
positive.
good. Yeah, I think that's the one thing, isn't it? Like a lot of people like to say, I think it's a real virtue signaling type of thing to go, oh, I worked hard myself and I did all this on my own. But the reality of it is, I wouldn't be where I am right now without the help of friends, family, great people
Yeah,
to help me out with therapy.
yeah,
It's like they offered me help and it's up to me to take it. You know, that kind of
yeah.
way, taking that responsibility, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah. Like, look, I'm obviously speaking with my family again, and it's like we've
Right,
all
right.
we've all sort of moved on from that situation, and we don't
Good.
bring it up anymore. Like I told them exactly what happened, and they knew.
Yeah. They love
They
you
knew.
at the end of the day, like as a family should, and that's really good.
Yeah,
It's great. They
yeah,
stood and they knew something was up. We'll be here for you when you need us. That's
yeah,
great to know,
100%.
My mom and my
Family,
brother have been great that way as well.
yeah. I wouldn't have done it without the support from my family, and even Brenda herself. She's a fucking rock.
Don't lose her. She's a good one. She's a
Oh no.
keeper. Yeah, good
Oh,
man.
absolutely. 100%, man.
And you deserve it, man. You deserve the happiness for
Everyone
sure.
does.
They
Everyone does.
do, they do, and that's actually something that I learned in therapy. So I remember just like playing, like I do like sport, but it was very difficult as someone with autism, and now as I know BPD as well,
Yeah.
because my emotions would get very strong. It's often associated with being quite feminine. You know, when you're very expressive of your emotions, people go, "Oh, stop being
Yeah.
such a big girl about it." You
Yeah, stop
know,
being a girl. Yeah.
yeah. So I was kind of like, all right, shut that down, internalize that now. And then with autism, I was like, you'd see lads before a game socializing. That was something where I was like, how the fuck do I make common ground with them? I just wanted to get on with training and it was kind of on my own. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff I pushed down and then looking for praise playing sport. Now I
Yeah.
was good at rugby, so that was something where I was like, yeah, I'm good at it, but I started finding it a chore to get out for training all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to be physically fit. There's a lot of drinking involved as well.
Yeah.
Which I loved. Like I love playing a game and going off for a load of points, but I would
Yeah.
never say no. If a guy was like, "You come back to a nightclub after?" Yeah, of course I am. I've had a few here. I've gotten prepared. We've had a few pre-drinks, and now we're going
Yeah.
out to the nightclub.
Yeah.
So like that, like I was saying, being suggestible. If
But
lads were going off,
is that just like wanting to fit in with people?
yeah, 100%. If
Yeah.
people are praising you, going, "You had a great game. You're a tough cunt," and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like if you put in a big hit, or like I remember before getting into a fight in the game and getting a black eye, I kind of saw it as a badge of honor, like having war
Mm.
wounds essentially. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And then because of not being able to socialize, you know how much alcohol opens you up and helps you with that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
It does give you a
everybody
bit of
said,
self confidence after a few
yeah,
drinks.
for
You know.
sure. And we were chatting about rugby. We were watching other people playing, so you can kind of have a laugh and go,
Yeah.
right, we've done our part now. Now we can watch the rest of the lads suffering while we drink, you know? Oh, and I didn't hate it. I loved it. But
Yeah.
the knock on effect of that was I struggled to make it into college on time. I struggled to make it to work. I got
Yeah.
really depressed. I started getting really bad injuries in rugby. And then I got
Yeah.
overweight because I just couldn't exercise as well as I could. And I was already mentally drained. So I was like, an injury, if my body can't perform, I don't have the mental strength to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I don't need
Yeah.
lads hounding me on the phone either. Are you playing a thirds or a seconds game at the weekend? It's because
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck off. I don't want to talk to anybody, you know, that kind of way.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you were saying about finding it difficult to go into college, I ended up missing a good few classes and then having to, you know,
Mm.
try and pull it out of the bag in the end, which I nearly did. I had to repeat a
Yeah.
few exams, but look, got there in the end.
Oh,
But I
look,
had,
no, I've never struggled through uni. Like, you
yeah,
know, I didn't. The only I didn't even have to repeat any subjects at all. You know, like I did have to resit one exam, and that was about it. And that was just due to the
yeah,
fact that I wasn't really knowledgeable on that subject. But I was given a second chance to resit the exam, and I fucking nailed it.
yeah. It was kind of like
But,
with me. So you get repeats, and then I literally got everything. I had like five to do, so I gave myself a lot of work, but I got there nearly. And then there was one where it's like, no, you just have to repeat this subject, and then you can go into the next year. I was like, all
yeah,
right, grand. So I'll work full time, and I'll just go in for whenever the classes are, you know, that kind of way.
yeah.
Got there in the end, thank God.
Yeah, well, the only one I wanted, the only person I needed to prove it to that I could do a degree was myself.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a proud moment, isn't it?
It
Really
really
is.
is, man. 100%. You go to your graduating ceremony, and you've got your head guy up there with the cap and gown, and you
Yeah,
receive
the cloak, the
a degree.
cap and gown. I was
Yeah.
seeing my family there. I was like, nah, this
Oh
is a
God, yeah,
proud moment right
yeah,
now.
100%.
Really
And then
good.
anyone else who's proud of you is just an added bonus.
Exactly. You did it yourself, you know. People
Exactly.
might have helped you along the way, but you did the hard work.
Exactly, and I had a few teachers there that had said, you'd never make it. You'd never,
Yeah.
you don't have it to go to uni. You just, and then it's like a big, well,
It's a big fuck you, isn't it?
yeah,
Like,
it's like fuck you, I fucking
yeah,
did.
I'm here now. You know what my
Yeah,
dad said to me? He was like, because he wanted me to do an apprenticeship. And I was like, look, I understand that's what he did when he was younger. He had good intentions. But when I got my degree, he turns around and he says to me, I honestly didn't think you were able for it, but well done. I was like, oh, cheers, dad. It's like,
hey,
this is a proud moment.
take that as a compliment.
Yeah, yeah. It was just like ill-timed compliment.
You that's actually a very nice compliment, to be honest.
Yeah, true. You pushed yourself beyond
Even
what
if
I
your
thought you
parents
were
didn't
capable
think you
of.
could do it, you've just proved him wrong. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck you, Dad. Oh, Steve, sorry, we're coming up to time now. I'd really
Right.
appreciate you coming on this. Cheers.
No worries,
Thanks
man.
very much.